I'm Tina Rosenberg, and I'm a Pulitzer Center grantee. I wrote my story for The Guardian of London's long read section about a program in Ottawa, Canada, that gives an hourly dose of wine to homeless alcoholics. I've reported on the use of harm reduction to help people with opioid addictions all over the world, but I had never before heard of harm reduction being used to help people with alcoholism. No one talks about it. For alcohol, abstinence is considered the only way. So I was very surprised to learn that across Canada, there are about 10 different shelters that use what's called managed alcohol. In Ottawa, there are 2 of them. At each of these shelters, residents get from 7:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night, every hour on the half hour, a measured dose of wine. The wine is made in-house with lots of help from the residents themselves. The purpose isn't to get them drunk, and in fact, anyone who's intoxicated gets cut off. But the wine does stave off the sweats and shakes of detox. These are not ordinary people with alcohol problems. These are men and women who have spent decades drinking themselves into a stupor every day. They've tried to quit many, many times and been unsuccessful. I spent a few days hanging out at the program. I talked at great length with about 10 of the clients in it and many of the staff, and spoke to researchers across Canada who have looked at the effects of the program. What I found was that it is, first of all, saving the city of Ottawa quite a bit of money. These people used to be picked up by police or paramedics 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a week and taken to the hospital emergency room or the police drunk tank. These crisis services are very costly and, of course, did nothing to solve the underlying problems. But having the pour keeps them indoors. Once they don't have to concentrate on the question of where am I going to get my next drink, they're free to do other things. For example, many of them are receiving medical care for the first time, mental health care. They're eating real food, and they're rebuilding the relationships in their lives. These programs are successful in reducing the harm of drinking. What surprised me and saddened me was that in many cases they don't actually reduce the amount that people drink. In some cases they do. Some people cut down quite a bit and many quit entirely. But in other cases, people will be consuming alcohol until the day they die. And in fact, abstinence is not a purpose of the program. It's not one of its goals. But it was really poignant to learn about the continuing power that alcohol has in these people's lives. One man I talked to spoke about his desire to have a bottle in his hand with the raw need and longing that many people would use to speak of a lover. And in fact, this man's lover did die recently of alcoholism. I realize that for many readers of this story, the idea of giving free booze to homeless alcoholics sounds crazy. But in the case of these men and women, it may be the best way to help them to have some stability in their lives. Dr. Turnbull said that cancer doctors who have incurable patients don't just cut them off and throw them out into the street. Even if they can't cure the cancer, these patients deserve palliative care. The same is true of people with severe alcoholism.